All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 4, the final day of the Education Abroad Fair. If this is your first fair session this week, then welcome. We are excited to have you. I'll talk a little bit about how you can access some of the 45 sessions that we've had over the course of the week a little bit later. If you have attended or watched some other fair sessions already, I really hope that you found them engaging and informative, and I hope that you'll say the same about this session when we're done. This morning, we're going to talk about some long-term programs for students in the Warner College of Natural Resources. When we say long-term, typically we're referring to full semester, academic year, calendar year programs, kind of that kind of time frame. I'll do some introductions shortly, but I want to start with the CSU Land Acknowledgement. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we're on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion. And significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is part of the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. If you would like to turn this land acknowledgement into action, I would encourage you to reach out to the CSU Native American Cultural Center to learn more about how you can engage with, support, and advocate for Native tribes whose land we occupy. My name is Christopher Snodgrass. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I am an education abroad coordinator, and I advise for the UK and Ireland and international internships specifically. Joining me today is my colleague, Marie Schaller, who will serve as the moderator for this session. Thanks for being here, Marie. Our webinar does not have a chat function, but there is a Q&A box where you can post questions and interact with Marie throughout the session. We'll end today with a few minutes for questions, but feel free to post your questions as we go as well. Before we jump into talking about long-term programs for the Warner College, I wanted to dispel some myths about education abroad. First, an education abroad experience should not delay your graduation. In fact, with good planning, it will enhance your degree, help you graduate on time, and in some cases, maybe even help you graduate early. Secondly, there's this myth that education abroad is more expensive than courses in living here at CSU and in Fort Collins. Certainly, there are some expensive programs. That's sometimes true, but many are priced similarly to the cost of attendance at CSU and a semester living in Fort Collins, and we work very hard to make sure that's the case. And to be honest, some programs are even less expensive. So whatever your budget happens to be, we can definitely help you find a program that fits. Thirdly, if you start early and involve your academic advisor in the process as we go, you'll be able to fulfill course requirements while abroad. This could be in the form of courses that are required for your major or some elective courses, but working together with our office and your academic advisor or your ASC, we can definitely find some courses that will fulfill some degree requirements and move you toward graduation. As always, we recommend getting started early. And like I said, working with both us and your academic advisor, your ASC. Lastly, our risk management team, which I'm a part of, has certainly had a busy time since the pandemic started. We have an international risk manager who constantly monitors and communicates some of the challenges and risks that students may face while they're abroad. By working together, utilizing our risk management resources, we can really foster responsible and successful experiences abroad, even during a pandemic. All right, let's talk a little bit about Warner students going abroad. Here's a breakdown of the number of students in each major or each academic department who have gone abroad over the last few years. As you can see, students from really every area of your college go abroad, while Some students and some majors may go abroad more often. We have programs available to fit really any plan of study. So the big takeaway here is never assume that you can't go abroad as a student in a Warner College. Some of the top destinations for Warner students include Mexico, where we have several different programs at the Todos Santos Center in Baja California Sur, as well as places like New Zealand, Ecuador, Spain, and Kenya. So you can see that Warner students are really able to go all over the world. These are certainly not the only places you can go. These are just the top 5. If you come in and meet with us, tell us where you want to go. We'll work with you to find the right program in the right spot for you. One of the ways that we can help you find the right program is through what we call recommended programs. Nearly every CSU academic department now has approved a recommended programs abroad list. We created these lists in partnership with the academic departments, with the faculty and advisors in each department. Together, we looked at hundreds of programs all over the world, reviewed the coursework available through each program, and developed a list of programs with robust course offerings for each area of study. By no means are these the only programs that you can look into, but it's a great place to start because you can be confident if a program is on the list, there are multiple courses that could fulfill your degree requirements. As always, again, be sure to communicate with your academic advisor or your ASC about your academic needs and involve them in the process throughout. To find the recommended programs for your particular area of study, you can visit the CSU Education Abroad website and click on Recommended Programs at the top of the page. From there, select the Warner College of Natural Resources, and you'll find this list of academic departments that we're looking at. Find your department and click on the link to see a customized list of programs recommended just for your area of study. Now let's talk through just a small sample of the programs on these recommended programs lists so you can get an idea of the types of experiences that you can have abroad. The first program that I want to talk about is Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology in Mexico. This is at the Todos Santos Center that I mentioned. It is available in the spring semester, and it's what we call a staff and faculty-led program. What that typically means is it's a CSU professor, a CSU staff or faculty member leading a group of CSU students abroad together. This semester program in Todos Santos will focus on coursework for students in the Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology program. Students will have the opportunity to work with and learn from local biologists, faculty, and students from institutions in Baja California Sur. Lectures, labs, and fieldwork will focus on topics related to the theory, methods, and research techniques used to study fish and wildlife populations and the communities they inhabit. Place-based experiential learning opportunities through field excursions will allow students to explore and learn about marine, island, shore, and desert ecosystems, places CSU students seldom encounter because of Fort Collins' geographic location. The next program I want to talk about is Lincoln University in Christchurch, New Zealand. Lincoln is what we call an exchange program. So it's a direct partnership between CSU and Lincoln University. We send students to Lincoln, Lincoln sends students here. You can study at Lincoln during a fall, a spring, or an entire academic or calendar year. Lincoln University is one of 8 government universities in New Zealand and is the country's specialist in land-based university. Home to approximately 3,500 students, Lincoln provides a close-knit community for students and professors. The university enjoys a rural setting less than 30 minutes from Christchurch, the biggest city in the South Island of New Zealand. Outdoor activities are a major part of life here, and Lincoln is perfect for students interested in hiking, backpacking, fly fishing, biking, boating, and more. So it sounds super similar to Fort Collins. There are national parks, fjords, rivers, coastal natural preserves, glaciers, rainforests, mountains, and more to explore. Lincoln is a particularly good fit for students in, to be honest, almost any major in the Warner College of Natural Resources. The next program I want to talk about is the University of Exeter in Cornwall, England. This is another exchange program. So again, a direct partnership between CSU and Exeter. You can also study at Exeter for a fall, spring academic year or calendar year. And one really interesting thing about Exeter is they also have an international summer school, one of very few exchange programs to offer some summer courses. The University of Exeter is a top-ranked British university. It's a member of what's called the Russell Group, which is the UK equivalent of the Ivy League. So it has a very strong international reputation for academics and research. It's very academically prestigious. It's somewhat similar to coming into the US and getting to study at Yale for a semester. The University of Exeter is noted as one of the most beautiful and botanically interesting of any UK university. Exeter is a fun college town of 130,000 people dating back to the Roman era. So it's a little bit smaller than Fort Collins, but relatively similar in size. National parks, quaint villages, and beaches are easily accessible. Bristol, Bath, and other areas of interest are nearby. London is easily accessible by train. Exeter is located on the southwest peninsula of England, an area known for its beaches and fishing villages, and which serves as a popular vacation destination for British citizens. Exeter is another great fit for, again, really almost any major in the Warner College. The next program I want to talk about is Wildlife Management Studies in Tanzania. This program is what we call an affiliate program. So it runs through a third-party organization that CSU partners with. That third party is not the university itself where you'll study, but they support you in your travels. This program is available during summer, fall, or spring. Through this program offered by our partner, the School for Field Studies, you can spend a semester in the iconic landscapes of Tanzania, meet the country's diverse wildlife from charismatic lions and elephants to thunderous herds of wildebeest and zebras, and learn about their ecology and behavior. Meet members of the Maasai, Iroquois, and Hadzabe tribal communities to learn about longstanding cultures and traditions while collaborating to address the impacts of human-wildlife conflict and climate change. Finish the semester with an in-depth field research project on wildlife management, community livelihoods, and sustainability. Research themes that you could explore include wildlife conservation, climate change, African large mammal behavior, carnivore ecology, human-wildlife conflict, and community-based conservation. Next, I want to talk about a program called Climate Change, Ethics, and Conservation in Cambodia. This program is another affiliate program, again, through the School of Field Studies, which is a really great affiliate for you to check out as a Warner student. It's available in the fall or the spring. Through this program, you can explore Cambodia's diverse ecosystems, from the Great Tonle Sap Lake to the Gulf of Thailand. Take field expeditions to ancient Angkor temples, study community approaches to combating climate change and preserving biodiversity, and learn about environmental justice and policy in a country truly unlike any other. This program includes extensive travel across Cambodia. You'll spend time in an elephant sanctuary, in the mountains, in the coastal ecosystems, and in conservation sites along the Mekong River. The last program I want to highlight is at Linnaeus University in Sweden. It's another affiliate program through our partner USAC. You can study at your choice of 2 campuses in southern Sweden and have the opportunity to take beginner or intermediate Swedish language courses, along with a variety of courses taught in English. Spend your semester in a friendly area known for its bicycle paths, castle ruins, and over 200 lakes. This program, again, is a particularly good fit for students majoring in ESS and natural resource tourism. So now that we've seen some examples of the types of programs you can explore, let's talk a little bit about how going abroad actually works. One of the biggest questions that we get is how credits work, how academic credit works. This question really depends on the type of program you're on, but we're here to help you work through the process with any type of program. CSU offers over 100 programs that give students CSU credit directly, such as the staff and faculty-led program that I talked about earlier. Students can easily see if these credits of a particular program will work for their degrees because they're CSU credits. Many other programs offer transfer credits through another institution. For example, the exchange programs that I mentioned earlier, the affiliate programs that I mentioned earlier, those would be transfer credits. For transfer credits, there's really 2 steps in ensuring that the credits will work for your degree, both of which take place long before you depart, so you have confidence in how the courses you take abroad will transfer back to CSU. First, you have to have your coursework reviewed by the CSU Registrar's Office. They will determine how many credits each course is worth and if each course qualifies as upper or lower division credits. Secondly, then you'll have your academic department determine how the coursework will fulfill your actual degree requirements. With these approvals, you'll know if these credits will keep you on track to graduate in a timely manner. I know this sounds complex, but we have an easy step-by-step process that we can walk you through. This process functions through what we call our transfer credit form, which you can see here. Once you find a program, you'll complete this form with courses that you're considering taking abroad. You'll submit the form to the CSU registrar, which is really easy to do. And from there, the form will be routed to your academic department and then finally back to our office. You'll be looped into this email chain as the form makes the round, so you'll always know where we are in the process, and you'll have a completed signed copy of the form once it's fully reviewed. The transfer credit form is just one step in the process of going abroad with CSU. As I mentioned earlier, just know that our staff is here for you throughout the entire process. You can visit the Start Here page on the Education Abroad website to see a step-by-step toolbox for how to find a program, how to apply, and preparing to go abroad. In addition to the resources on our website and in our office, there are several systems of support to assist you throughout the planning process of going abroad. So throughout the process, you'll work with our office, your academic advisor or ASC, and your program leader, program advisor, or partner organization, depending on the type of program that you're going on. Together, we will provide you with all the support that you need to navigate the process. Our office has a wonderful team of coordinators who specialize in different regions of the world and different staff and faculty-led programs. So which coordinator you work with in our office will be based largely on your program of choice. You're always welcome to meet with different coordinators in our office as you explore various programs around the world and work through your decision-making process. If you haven't decided where you want to go, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry. Our office also provides general advising to help you explore possibilities and ask all the right questions to help you focus in on programs that fit what you're looking for. Our office also has 3 peer advisors who are critical members of our team. Our peers have all gone abroad with CSU and are a tremendous resource to you as a CSU student. Our peers have open advising hours throughout the week during which you can meet with them to learn more about the student experience and a student perspective of being abroad, to learn more about our peer advisors, to read about their time abroad, or to check out their open advising schedule, visit the Contact Education Abroad page on the EA website. One thing I definitely want to talk about before we wrap up is financial aid and scholarships. Students are often really surprised to learn that the majority of your scholarships, grants, loans, financial aid that you already receive can go abroad with you. To learn more about this, you can go to our YouTube channel and check out the financial aid and scholarship presentations that were offered every day this week. You can learn about our colleagues in financial aid, Cindy and Evelyn. They work with students going on education abroad programs specifically. The presentation that you can see on YouTube is focused on scholarships and financial aid, as well as other ways to fund your education abroad experience. Scholarships will really kind of rarely fully fund your program, but they can definitely close the gap between your current financial aid and what you will need to go abroad. We will also have scholarship and fundraising workshops throughout the year, so you can find and obtain even more sources of funding. You can make an appointment with the Financial Aid for Education Abroad advisors by going to the Financial Aid and Scholarships page under the Students section of the Education Abroad website. At an appointment, you can look at your current financial aid, the grants, loans, and scholarships you already get specifically, and they can give you an idea of what of that money you can take abroad with you. It's a really good idea to work with financial aid before deciding or kind of as part of your decision-making process, so they can help you determine if programs that you're interested in are a good fit for your budget. The first rule for scholarships is always to know the deadlines. So I would recommend paying particular attention to this slide as our scholarship deadlines are shifting in the coming year. All right, so you're ready to go abroad. You're excited about going abroad. Here are some action items, some next steps that you can take on how to get started on the process. First, plan out what classes that you need to graduate. As I've said throughout the presentation, work with your academic advisor, work with your ASC to determine what your degree requirements are, what credits that you would need to satisfy while you're abroad. Visit the Start Here page on our website. Again, fantastic toolbox that we've put together to really lead you through the whole process step by step. You can research programs online using our program search or search through recommended programs, as I went through earlier. Make an appointment to come in and meet with our office and Education Abroad coordinator, either for general advising or if you've already identified a region or a program for some more specific advising. And then make an appointment with financial aid for education abroad, as I just mentioned. And then lastly, apply for the program and apply for scholarships. So that is the whole process. Before we wrap up today, I do want to just kind of give a shout out to the rest of the Education Abroad Fair. In addition to this presentation, we've had over 45 live sessions all throughout the week, including Education Abroad 101 and financial aid and scholarships. If you missed these sessions or you want to learn more, you can head over to the Colorado State University International Programs YouTube channel, where you can find all the recordings of our sessions and more. I also wanted to quickly highlight a couple of upcoming sessions, because the fair is not quite over, that some of our affiliate partners are presenting on later today that may be particularly relevant to your interests. The first is called The World is Your Classroom, How to Choose the Right Seat. This session is all about how to pick the right program for you. The second session is called Social Justice in a Global Context. This session will discuss social issues in various cultural contexts and how our international travel and the choices we make can impact the push for equity and justice around the world. Lastly, earlier this week, there was a session called Environmental Research Abroad. Being a student in the Warner College, this may be of particular interest for you. If you were there, great. If you missed it, again, head over to the CSU International Programs YouTube channel. You can check out the recording there. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you have any questions, now would be a fantastic time to ask.
We don't have any questions.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all so much for joining. I really enjoyed the last 20 minutes with you. I hope you enjoy the last few sessions of the fair. And like I said, head over to our YouTube channel to check out a lot